Scouts Victoria respectfully acknowledges the traditional custodians of the country throughout Victoria where our activities take place today. We pay our respects to elders both past, present and emerging, and continue to recognise and embrace the important continuous history and connection to land and community of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people.
Judy here. Welcome to Kangaree O-Day. I'm sorry I can't be with you this weekend. I'm actually at Gilwell Park. But anyway, grab a coffee or a tea, sit back, relax and enjoy all the information that James and our amazing Kangaree team have been doing. Have a great day and I'll see you at Kangaree. Bye!
Hello everyone and welcome to Kangaree O-Day. I'm Zoe and a venturer from First Caroline Springs. I am the Deputy Youth Director for Kangaree. Today we'll have members of our Kangaree team presenting you with all the information your units need to have a fun, safe and exciting time at Kangaree. Get, set, go. It's going to be the best adventure a Joey Scout can experience, so let's get prepared so we can all have a smooth Kangaree together. If you have any questions during any of the presentations, please ask them in the chat box and a member of our team will find an answer for you. First up, we have our camp chief, James Warren. Take it away, James.
Thanks, Zoe. Hi, my name's James Warren and I'm the Chief Director for Kangaree 7, Get, Set, Go. Firstly, the important stuff. Kangaree will be held from the 30th of September to the 2nd of October 2022. Our Joey Scouts will join over 1,000 other Joey Scouts, completing activities from across a range of challenge areas and outdoor adventure skills. The home of Kangaree 7 is Lardner Park, situated just 12 kilometres from Warragul and approximately an hour and 25 minutes from Melbourne CBD. Joey Scout eligibility for Kangaree 2022 is being a current member of Scouts Victoria and still actively participating in a Joey Scouts unit. The Joey Scout cannot have completed their transition to Cub Scouts in order to attend Kangaree. The Kangaree management team would like all of our youth members to have an amazing experience. That is why we are suggesting that all of our youth members complete Stage 1 camping before coming to Kangaree. For Scouts to attend as a part of our youth service team, they must be at least 13 years old and have the following program achievements prior to the event. Milestone 1 in Scouts, Outdoor Adventure Skills Stage 3 in camping, bushwalking and bushcraft. Obviously, events like Kangaree cannot be successful without the support of adults. If any non-uniform adult would like to attend and support Kangaree, they too must register before the closing date, which is August 16th. Their requirements are being a current registered member of Scouts Victoria as an adult supporter or an adult helper. They will require a current Working with Children's check, a police check, and for adult helpers, a referee check as well. Just to recap, they must be registered with the Victorian Scout Centre prior to trying to register for Kangaree. For more information about the eligibility of Kangaree, please head over to the Kangaree FAQ page on Scouts Victoria's website. If you can't find the answer you're looking for there, please email info@kangaree.com.au. Remember, when you're emailing our amazing administration team, please provide as much information as possible to support them. This could be the participant's full name as it would appear on their extranet, the group they are registered with, and their Scouts Victoria registration number or Kangaree identification number would be beneficial for them as well. Before I pass over to our other directors, I'd like to thank a few people. I'd like to thank our general managers and their teams, our directors and activity managers. I'd like to thank Zoe, our youth director, and all of the youth leads. Your hard work and dedication to Kangaree 7 has been phenomenal. I'd like to thank the Victorian Scout Centre for their assistance and support. And finally, all of you for joining us today, but also for all of the preparation that you've put into supporting our youth members to ensure they have an amazing time at Kangaree 7. From the sleepovers to the unit camps to everything in between. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Now we're going to hear from Cara, the Deputy Chief Director.
Hi, I'm Cara, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you at Kangaree. I'm here to talk about catering. Kangaree is a fully catered event. The meals will be wholesome and filling. To make sure that we meet your dietary needs, please update your Operoo. Obviously, this includes important information about allergies and anaphylaxis, but also include medical and faith diets. If you have any questions or wish to discuss your dietary needs, please email catering@kangaree.com.au. Time is running out to purchase your very own Kangaree branded shirt. Purchase before August 15th and you can bring it along to Kangaree. For $49.95, you can purchase it via this website. Now I'd like to hand you back over to our youth director, Zoe. She's been doing a fantastic job keeping us youth-led, adult-supported.
Oh, sorry, I was just ordering my t-shirt. Now we're going to hear from Chris, who is the People and Wellbeing Director.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the People and Wellbeing Director for Kangaree 2022. Across the next few minutes, I will do my best to briefly explain the different parts of what my team does. Broadly, we serve two key functions at a major event, such as Kangaree. Firstly, it is our job to ensure that every participant feels safe and is safe. And secondly, we provide support and specialised advice to you, the unit leaders. You will undoubtedly have questions, and we may feel we have got the balance between specifics and brevity wrong, especially if you have a youth member with specific or complex needs. However, many of the questions about people and their needs are best done privately, so please contact us and we can organise a chat or answer specific questions. So let me tell you about what teams sit within People and Wellbeing. I have a health team and a wellbeing team, obviously. I also have an inclusion team who are assisting us in making Kangaree fully accessible and an inclusive event. There is a risk and safety team. I would think their job is self-explanatory. I have a complex case manager whose job it is to manage well the complex cases. The last one is the EMC, which is one of the newer roles at Kangaree, but will make sense once I explain it. I have at least 30 people working with me, all leaders, all volunteers, all of whom bring expertise that has been gained through employment and experience. Then there's you, the biggest part of my team, the line leaders. You have the biggest job at Kangaree, which is why we are here to support you. You have primary responsibility for the health and well-being of the youth in your unit. And for those 3 days, you are the proxy for these tiny people's caregivers. It's a big job, but one that's highly rewarding. But enough about that, let me tell you about what is happening. The health team is at Kangaree to help support the care of all participants. It is expected that each unit will provide basic health and first aid care for their members. All camping units should have a fully stocked first aid kit. It is our expectation that each unit will designate someone to be responsible for monitoring the health and well-being needs of their unit. They don't have to be the same person. Advanced first aid and health support will be available at the central first aid post, which will be staffed by registered nurses and first responders, which are our first aiders. During the activities, there will be roaming first aid personnel. Most medication will be stored within the unit. There will be further information about medication in the info book, but I really want to stress how important a current and correct Operoo profile is. You cannot assist in the administration of medication unless it is documented in Operoo. We'll be releasing some further resources about how to update Operoo in the coming weeks, but our ability to support and assist in a moment of crisis is fully dependent on being given correct and current information. If you have any complex health conditions or further needs, please contact the health team on health@kangaree.com.au. Sometimes a Joey's emotions are too big or beyond their ability to self-regulate and your ability to support. Maybe the spaghetti brain is just too much and the youth member needs a safe spot to reset. The primary interface with wellbeing will be through the health and wellbeing drop-in tent, which is a quiet and low excitement space. So if your Joey is really struggling, a leader can bring them across during an activity. The leader is expected to stay with the Joey throughout the visit, but it's not necessarily required to do much. In most cases, it takes no more than 10 to 15 minutes before the small person is ready to go back out. With more challenging actions or behaviours, the wellbeing team will deploy additional resources. We're here to support. There will also be the wonderful Lardner Views, which offers short-term respite for adults who might need a small moment of quiet contemplation and solitude. It's a 2-night event, and we hope that through support and small moments of quiet, we can all push through. Our child safety obligations don't change just because we're at a major event. If you form a reasonable belief that a young person is at risk of harm or you have concerns for their safety or well-being, please contact the Scouts Victoria Child Safety Line on 1800 870 772. Likely the person who answers the phone will already be at the event. If not, any child safety concerns or behaviours that are highly alarming or concerning will be managed by a complex case manager. Kangaree is an inclusive event, and we will make reasonable adjustments to ensure that every youth member can not only attend but have an exciting and rewarding experience. If you wish to further discuss the specific inclusion needs of you or one of your youth members in your unit, please contact inclusion@kangaree.com.au. So I stumbled across a life hack in the old scouting scriptures. Be prepared. I'm not sure if you heard of it. Well, I'm not sure that a risk matrix was exactly what BP meant, but for a major event, being prepared is a thorough risk and safety assessment. During the event, the risk and safety team will be making sure that the activity stays safe. As a line leader, it is important that you maintain effective control of your unit. We are in the business of providing challenging activities and controlled risk, but introducing over 1,000 highly impulsive small humans with still developing executive control is a stressor. Help us keep the event safe by making sure that people are where they need to be and move around the event in a timely and safe manner. Because everyone loves a good acronym, the EMT runs out of the EMC. EMT is the Emergency Management Team, and the EMC is the Emergency Management Centre. The EMC is basically a control hub for the entire event. Despite the name, it will be the quietest and calmest space in the whole of Lardner Park. Elements of the EMC include our police scouters and fire response, but they work heavily with the health and risk and safety team. They track things like the coming and going of vehicles and incoming weather. Their second most critical function is that they're, in case of emergency, break glass team. In the event, and under the direction of our camp chief and advice from the health and GM, they'd be the ones responsible for evacuating the event. So let me give you a scenario and example about how the people and wellbeing team might interact at Kangaree. The scene opens. It's a beautiful day and Lardner Park is abuzz with laughter and happy children. But suddenly a scream. Roll initiative. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so young Timmy has tripped and landed awkwardly. He's clutching his arm and has gone very quiet and very pale. The activity leader, having been alerted by the youth's unit leader, does his usual Dr. ABC drill, and while making the immediate environment safe and involves nearby adults in managing the crowd, they immediately send for help on the radio. The radio call goes to the EMC, who very calmly calls for the first aid response. Once that radio call is done, they make a second call to the health team, alerting them. The health team prepares to potentially receive a short stay guest. The first responders arrive and make an assessment of Timmy, and after reading the scene, suspect that he has a broken arm. They buzz back and call for an escalated response. The escalated response rolls out on a buggy to assist. During this whole process, the EMC has conferred with the camp chief and health and GM and called 000. They also lodged an incident report to Scouts Victoria and begin preparing the police scouters to greet the AV bus at the gate and walk them in. The paths in and out of the venue are being cleared of foot traffic and members of the health and wellbeing team are deployed. Timmy arrives at the Central Health Hub and is made comfortable. After a wait, the AV bus arrives and is walked in by the police scouters and is met by the health team, with Timmy ready to go. The transfer happens and one of Timmy's unit leaders and another leader hops in and the ambulance is walked back out. After the incident, the risk and safety team inspect the site and determine why and how and make recommendations to the activity team. A representative from either the health or wellbeing team has reached out to Timmy's family to share the unfortunate news. The wellbeing team is checking in on all the people involved, the dust settles, and then we review the whole process. So this scenario brings me into a topic all of its own, Operoo. In my little scenario, at least 4 different people have looked Timmy up on Operoo. At each of these points, they've used the information in Operoo to make the best and most expedient decision they can. It's for this reason that we use Operoo as our primary source of truth for the Kangaree event. You must ensure, as a unit leader, that all the youth members in your unit have correct and current information so that we can give the best care possible. One of the lessons that we learned at VicJam was that units that had code of conducts, specifically a youth code of conduct, had a better experience than those that didn't. So, with consultation from a number of Joey units, we've reached out and made a unit code of conduct for the entire event. This will cover behaviours that we would expect from Joeys, but in language that is appropriate to a Joey and that they would understand. You should expect to receive this in the coming weeks, but it's a good talking point should there be behaviours that you don't like or that you want to change. Kangaree is going to be an absolutely amazing event. It's hard to think that last time we did this, we're about to go into a global pandemic. If at any point you think that we haven't properly covered information or you have specific questions, please do reach out. Our job is to make sure that everybody has an enjoyable time, and like I said, we're here to support you. The line leaders are the most important role at the event, and so if you're not feeling supported, you need to contact us and let us know what we can do. So if during the event you need to find the people and wellbeing team and you can't find any of them out on the ground, you can find us at our main hub here. Now I'm going to give you as well 2 seconds to get out your phone and save 2 numbers for me. The first one you've already seen, it's the Child Safe Emergency Line. That number is 1-800-870-772. For any child safety concerns, that's the number to call. If an incident occurs and you're not able to find someone from the first aid team or an event team with a radio, you should call the Scouts Victoria emergency line on 8543 9877. Most likely that number will go through to our EMC and they'll be able to assist you. We've covered a lot today and there'll be even more information in the info book. I'm really excited for Kangaree at the end of the school holidays and I'm really looking forward to seeing you there.
As venturers, we should have these numbers saved too, so pop them in your phone now. Next, we're moving on to David, the program director.
Hi, I'm David. What I'm not going to do is tell you what the activities are at Kangaree because that's going to be a surprise for the Joey Scouts. What I am going to do is tell you a few things about the activities and what we expect. There'll be 6 activities, 1 on the Friday afternoon, 4 on the Saturday and 1 on the Sunday morning. That should give you plenty of time for setting up your tents and all the other things you need to do when you come in and then when you leave. But when you come to activities, we'd like the unit leaders to be in charge of their Joey units. The activity leaders are there to run the activities and we are generally short-staffed and we need you to look after your Joeys. You know them better than the activities will, people will, and that way we'll have a nice smooth activity. The other thing is if you see the activities need a bit of a hand, please help out. These people are working very hard and as I said, we're generally short on activity leaders. That brings me to another very important thing. We will have a few scouts, venturers and rovers, and some rovers look young enough to be scouts, helping on activities. Please, they are adults doing an adult role and we expect them to be treated as adults. The other important thing is not all Joey leaders or parent helpers who put down to be with their units will be allocated to that role. We need activity leaders, we need people in catering, we need people in all sorts of roles or the event won't happen. So if your Joey mob has a good ratio of adults to youth, you might find that some of you get given different roles. If you need to swap that around, please contact us and we can do that so the appropriate people end up in the appropriate roles. I've got a group of people who are preparing all these activities and we're going to have a whole bunch of helpers who will get basically on the day and the Joeys will have a fantastic time. And it's up to us to help make that happen.
Thanks, David. I can't wait to see the Joeys have a ball. That's all from me. I'm looking forward to seeing you all at Kangaree. I'd like to hand back to James and Cara to answer your questions.
Hi everyone, and thank you for your time today. We're going to have an awesome time now just going through a couple of your questions and making sure that you have all the information that you need for Kangaree 7. First, I have some really exciting information to share though. Our event has hit over 1,500 Joey Scouts attending with over 900 adult supporters as well. This is now currently the largest Kangaree that Scouts Victoria has had. And even better, we have 75% of our camp in tents, which is absolutely fantastic. Just to go over a few points now before we pass over to your questions. Operoo and the event management system must be up to date. Please make sure your dietary requirements are in both the event management system and updated on Operoo. This will make sure our teams have all the correct information and can ensure that we give you the best care possible. Just a little bit about information for bump in and bump out times. Our bump in times, this is for setting up all of our tents and our campsites. This will be from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday before the event starts. Please make sure that this is the only time that you're trying to come on to set up our tents, as we need to make sure that our site is clear for all of our youth to come and enjoy our amazing event on the Friday morning.
So now we'll head to questions. So if you have any questions, please be sure to put them in the chat.
So when are we getting our info book? So our info book is available now on our website, so kangaree.com.au. You'll be able to download that now. The important thing about our info book, it is a fluid document. So as things change and develop over the course of the next couple of weeks, that info book will be updated and make sure we have all the relevant information. So please just regularly check that info book to ensure that you have all your necessary information.
So when will roles be allocated and passed on to attendees? We're actually working on that right now, but as you're aware, our applications are still open. So if you know of anyone that hasn't applied yet, get them to do that right now. Once applications close, then we'll start cleaning up all the data and information will be passed out after that. Same question, roles will be allocated. Again, after applications closed, we'll send out that information and you'll have that ASAP.
So any Joey Scout who has registered after we have sent out the original badge mail out, because we have new Joey Scouts joining our movement all the time, which is absolutely fantastic. We will be doing another mail out to make sure that everyone receives an event badge, and that will hopefully be coming very soon, particularly after our event registration has closed.
So police checks for adult supporters. If you're a group leader listening, please register your adult supporters as group rostered parents. They do not require a police check. They just require a working with children check and the modules that are required. So group rostered parents is the way to go. We definitely require Operoo, please. So the question is, if we still don't have Operoo, can we have paperwork style? Unfortunately not. Our preference is, and it is a requirement, that everything comes via Operoo.
Operoo is just not important for when you're on the youth lines. Operoo makes sure all of our health and wellbeing team as a collective patrol is able to work and you have that medical information and give you the best care available. So it's not just for our line leaders, it's also for our events to make sure we're giving you the best care. So meal times, they work very similar to what happened at last Kangaree. However, there will be a few slight changes. Part of what I said is with the info book being a fluid document, that will be updated once we get all of our final bits and pieces aligned. Obviously, having over 15,000 Joey Scouts, things are going to have to change, and that's a great feeling to have. We love being able to have change for the better within our movement. And part of that is how our meal times will work. So why that is still happening with us, so please bear with us, and that will be updated in the info book as soon as we can.
Yes, if you do have a smaller unit coming, you will be joined up with another unit to make up a bigger unit of allocation in size. So definitely, you won't be on your own.
So for parent helpers, when you register your when you're registered and your group leader will come through, they'll select, like what we do for our youth and our line leaders, they'll select whether you're sleeping in a pavilion or in a tent. If you are sleeping in a tent, you need to make sure that that is something that you provide and you come and you set up. If you're sleeping in a pavilion, you just need to make sure that you have your stretcher and all of your sleeping gear. But please, if you have group helpers or any adult supporters that aren't your line leaders, please make sure your group leader knows their preferences.
Great question.
So with rovers and venturers, that could happen in a few different ways. If a rover or a venturer is working part of an activity team and that activity team is arranging to come up slightly earlier, that will be relayed to them as soon as possible. Otherwise, they will join yourselves on the buses. Sorry.
Jacinta.
Yes, Jacinta. I'm so sorry. 1,500, not 15,000 Joey Scouts. That would be too much.
Goodness.
Hopefully one day, but not today. So when we talk about our Joey Scout units for Kangaree, our units are made up of approximately a bus size. So that's approximately 50 people. From there, you're also allotted into a colour group, and your colour group will be a series of buses that you will rotate through the event with. So that will include your time that you'll be in doing activities as well as through your catering time. So your units will be made up and you'll be with that group of people for the entire event. So you'll be able to make great lifelong friendships and also have the support from fellow leaders as well. Okay, so again, great question. If you are coming as a leader or as a group rostered parent, the really important information here is that you need to communicate to your group leader where you would like to be sleeping. That comes down to the pavilion or the tent. Please make sure that that is clearly given to your group leader. So if you are a leader that's not in the line and you would like to still sleep with your Joey unit, that is fine. If you're in the pavilions, if not, you'll need to also make sure that you're bringing your tent so you can set up at the right campsite. What's happening with daylight savings? Daylight savings is happening. We unfortunately cannot control that. Our daylight savings will be taken into account when we're doing all of our activities. We will send reminders out to our wonderful leaders to make sure they also know, so we're at the right meal times for the next day. Yeah. But daylight savings is happening whether we like it or not. Is there parking available for rovers travelling independently, or are we required to travel by buses? That's a great question and a really important question, because some adults will also fall into this category. If you are coming up as an independent traveller and you have made that clear on your event system, if you have had to change your travel arrangements for whatever reason, please go back to our event management system and make that clear ASAP. Then we'll be able to get in contact and find out a bit of information about when you're coming up, and there is a parking site available. Please keep in mind, though, that trailers are not to be left on our campsites. Trailers must be put into our car park, in our long-term car park for the event, just because, keep in mind, Lardner Park is on a hill, and we want to ensure the safety of all of the people on the site. So trailers will need to be in the car park with the cars, but yes, 100% there is parking.
So thanks, Thomas. All leader badges have been posted to their GLs, so be sure to check with your GL to get your badge.
No, so Joeys don't need a dilly bag. One of the fantastic things about Kangaree is that we have a really strong, and our catering team is absolutely fantastic. And part of our catering team, they will actually be washing dishes. We've moved to a way that's a bit more sustainable, and so part of that is we're going away with paper plates and paper utensils, and we're going to a more sustainable method of normal plates and knives and forks. So our amazing catering team will have all of that provided for you.
Yes, Becky, groups will be allocated a camp area to camp in, and more information will be sent out about that when that's decided.
And our amazing police scouters will also, and our camping team will help you. If you're coming to set up tents, they will also help you find your camping area. We have fantastic teams supporting this event, and that's one of their roles as well. So for bump in, yes, we will generally have something that we'll send out that will ask you just if you're coming up to the site, just so we know how many people we're expecting on the site, and we can have a little bit of an idea about that. So please, again, that one will be out in the info book shortly. How does bump out work? That is a great question. So with bump out, you may be able to start packing up your tents early, and you can definitely have them sitting ready to go in your camping areas. We will not be allowing any cars on or off site until our final bus leaves. Once our final bus leaves, the campsite is officially closed as our camp, and it will be open to be able to bring cars and trailers on, pack your gear, and then you'll be able to leave as soon as you can.
Oh, thanks, Shannon.
That's
we really
amazing.
appreciate that. Also, just while we wait for the next question, Scout Shop, if you are in need of anything at all that is going to make your Kangaroo experience better, please visit the Scout Shop for all your camping needs and much more. We're very excited that we have them on board and helping support Kangaroo for 2022.
Exactly. And remember to order your Kangaroo merchandise. There isn't a little image. You'll find out what the shirt looks like when it arrives. Again, we don't want to spoil the surprise of Kangaroo. Kangaroo is an amazing event, and so many people have been working in the background for months now. So although when you go onto the website link for your shirts, it's not going to show you the actual what it looks like. That is part of the magic of our event that we're trying to keep there. So please go on and buy a shirt as well. Look, I would always suggest if you can bring a smaller tent for this time for those rovers and leaders camping independently, that is helpful. We do, as I said, 75% of our camp in tents. That's absolutely fantastic. And that bringing a smaller tent will actually help us make sure that everyone is fitting comfortably within their camping areas. So preference would be if you can bring a small hiking tent, particularly for our venturers and our rovers and our scouts that are in our youth service areas, that would also be very beneficial for us. Yes, definitely. You will all be together. If your group is together and your unit are all camping, definitely you will be together and there will be enough space for your tents, yes.
That's correct. You will need to purchase the Kangaroo polo separately if you do wish to have one.
Joey Scouts are not given a shirt. Joey Scouts are able to buy a shirt if you would like. So please do pass that link on to all of your parents as well, because it's an amazing opportunity for our youth members to have event shirts as well. They do come in youth sizes.
They do get a drink bottle though. So some merch.
They will be given a bit of merchandise. So they'll be given their scarf and they will also be getting a Kangaroo drink bottle this time. Yes.
Jane, just to clarify, parents attending in other roles are permitted to camp with their Joey Scouts.
But please make sure your group leader has that preference on your event system. Make sure they know that.
That isn't...
Can you please send that question? So thank you, Margaret. Can you please send that question to info@kangaroo.com.au? We will obviously consider any individual units that have the needs as they come up. Please note, though, that this site, before our buses come on, this is almost a work site. So we will have machinery going around the site. We'll have many people doing bits and pieces on the site. So we need to ensure our youth safety. So please, that's probably a question that's a little bit more on an individual needs basis. Please send that through to info@Kangaroo and we can workshop that. Will there be toilet stops? That's definitely something we're in conversation with our transport manager with.
Mm-hmm.
Do leaders get scarves? Yes, leaders will get scarves.
Which you can see James wearing right now. So just a reminder, you should go to the Kangaroo website to download the info book. It has all the information you could possibly need, and it is a fluid document, and updates will be made continuously. So be sure to regularly check back.
Another place to also keep an eye out on is Be Informed. Be Informed is an awesome place that will also give you a lot of information about Kangaroo and particularly about the times when we're updating the info book. Please keep an eye out there as well. So will leaders also only be able to stay on site if we have others coming up on the bus? So obviously, as anything within our organisation, we do have ratios to maintain. Please send that email to info@kangaroo.com.au so we can talk about the needs of your group again. Thank you. All right. So again, I'm in conversation with our transport manager. We have a new transport manager this year, and it's definitely something that we can bring up. I understand that our Joey Scouts cannot hold it for 3 to 4 hours, and that is something that we'll be able to discuss as well. So please leave that with me, and I will discuss that. So big important takeaways from our day today as we're about to finish up for the day. Kangaroo.com.au for all of your needs. Make sure you check out the FAQs to give you all the information you need. If you have a specific question or query about your particular Joey Scout unit, please email info@kangaroo.com.au. We are looking so forward to seeing everyone there at Kangaroo, and we do hope that you're preparing and making sure your Joey Scouts are ready for this event to give them the best experience at Kangaroo. We're so excited to be there, and we can't wait to see you there. So thank you for joining us today, and we can't wait to see you all there.